A mail-order bride for the bounty hunter. Western Brides. Blythe Carver. Chapter 1. Brenda Watson stared at her reflection in the mirror, taking in her long, wavy, nearly black hair and bright, interested green eyes. She wished she didn't have to put her hair up. She liked to keep it down, and did so as often as she could. It was a terrible day, as far as she was concerned. To her father, it was a day to remember. This morning at breakfast, he'd informed her with no flourish that he'd come to a decision with Mr. Alfred Lawler. She was to marry his son, Micah, whom she'd gone to the Academy of Higher Learning with for 1 year, on a special scholarship for women. She was one of only 2 women in the college for that year. It had been her goal since winning the scholarship, to open the eyes of modern men and bring them into the future, a future that accepted women on the same level as it accepted men. Society shouldn't just be a place for the advancement of men. Brenda was determined to make that opinion known. She had a brilliant, sharp mind, and wasn't afraid to use it. Unfortunately, she was also plagued with the insatiable desire not to disrespect her family. It didn't help that Micah was her friend, and she knew for a fact that he was in love with a young lady named Lydia. She would have to talk to him at the dinner party. She already had an idea forming in her mind. Brenda snuck around the rose bush, peeking into the large dining hall. She searched for Micah among the throng of guests that had shown up. She hated to disappoint them and betray her father, but she thought it was best to disappear before he made the announcement and embarrassed himself in front of all his distinguished guests. She didn't want to hurt her father. Ever since her mother died 3 years ago, he had tried his best to understand his growing daughter. She was 20 now, and he was determined to marry her to Micah's family because Alfred was one of his best friends. They joked when the 2 were young how nice it would be if the 2 fell in love and got married, making them related through marriage. Now the time had come, but Micah and Brenda's feelings had never gotten stronger than a friendship. She finally saw him, and waved at him frantically, trying to get his attention. His eyes were scanning the room, a distinct look of boredom on his face. When his eyes flicked to her, his expression lit up. Brenda thought how happy their fathers would have been if that had been a look of love. It was in a way, but not the way their fathers wanted. Now when he looked around, it was with suspicion. He made sure no one was paying attention to him, and slipped down the hallway. He came out a side door typically used by the house staff. "Micah," she said, a surprising sense of relief washing over her.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?